and today we're here to talk about anxiety busters, how you can cope when you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed. So first of all, what is anxiety? Okay, it can be often caused by overwhelm or stress. It comes from our emotional brain firing a fight or flight response that isn't necessary. So if you think back to caveman days, when we had to have these innate responses to lions or some immediate threat or danger. So we're used to having these responses from way back, but now in everyday life we don't need them. But sometimes our brain still fires off this response unnecessarily because it's triggered by something. So this anxiety can then manifest in different ways. Some people find that they will push themselves to do loads and loads of different things and work themselves into the ground. Other people will find that they get completely lethargic and don't want to do anything. Some people feel they really need other people around for support and want that support really desperately, and other people want their own space and they just want to avoid things, and even avoid meetings and work, and just down to just general avoidance. It's just a coping strategy, but they aren't necessarily always helpful. But these are the different ways that anxiety can manifest. So understanding your anxiety gives you the chance to be able to do something about it, because if you know how yours manifests, then you can fix it. So if you remember, thoughts are fleeting. Every thought we have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. They're just coming and going here and there all the time. It's only when we give weight to a thought and step into that thought that we allow it to have more power over us. So the more that we think a thought and repeat this thinking, it can be detrimental if it's a negative thought pattern. So it's really important to be aware so that we can catch ourselves and stop these negative thought patterns, which ultimately lead to a spiral and can cause anxiety. So how can we cope? If you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling stressed, sometimes that can turn into a panic attack, and we don't want to get to that point. So the key with anxiety is to know, first of all, it will pass. All emotions are just energy in motion. If you can see there on the screen, the E from the energy is part of the motion for the emotion. So just knowing that they're transient, that can be really helpful. And there are so many different tools that you can use. So there are breathing techniques to help you calm your breathing and regulate your breath. There's music you can use if you've noticed that music can really change your mood, so that can be really helpful. We can do mindful destructive pastimes to focus on something else. We can do exercise to boost ourselves, and we can seek support. Okay, so I'm going to go into each of them in a little bit more detail. So with breathing, obviously we all have to breathe to live, to survive. So if you notice, when you get really stressed, you'll actually find that your breathing will become really shallow and erratic. It will get really tense and our shoulders will start to lift up towards our ears and everything will be much more stressful, okay? So what we want to be able to do is to be able to calm ourselves down with mindful breathing instead. So if you just take a moment to notice your posture and roll your shoulders down and back. So when we're really tense, as I said before, our shoulders can get right tense up towards our ears, and what we want to do is we want to drop them down and back. Then take a second and put your hand onto your belly and breathe really deeply. So when we've got our hand on our belly, it's really important that we're focusing on feeling that air, making our hand move, if we like. So we're breathing right into our diaphragm to expand our lungs, to expand our chest, and that will feel like belly breathing. Another thing we can do is counting our breaths. 5 counts in, holding for 5, and then breathing out for 5. So I'll just do that with you now. So breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just hold that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then gently breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doing this 5 breath can be really good at regulating your breathing, and calming you down. And it's also giving you something else to focus on. You're thinking about counting, which is a logical thing. We want to switch from the emotional brain, which causes this anxious stress reaction, to our logical brain, which helps us navigate our way out of it. And meditative music can really help with the breathing as well. So that draws us nicely on to music. Now, music can really change our mood. So it's really important to have a playlist that suits your needs. So if you think about if you're in a car and you're having a really great day sometimes, and you might have a tune comes on the radio and you're like, yeah, this is the one. So it's noticing how our mood can pick us up. It's used in films to make us cry or to feel emotions. So music is really linked to how we feel. So knowing what you need, then you can create the playlist that works for you. So if you find that you're one of these people that doesn't want to do anything when they get overwhelmed and anxious, and you just want to stay in bed, don't even want to get up, then some energized music to combat your lethargy, that would be really good for you. Some tunes that you might want to listen to if you ever went to the gym, or like a favorite kind of driving tune, or I don't know, a disco or a party or out clubbing, like the music that makes you feel, yeah, this is really good, this is me. However, if you find that you're someone that can get overexcited, can find that they're doing too much, can find that everything is just getting a bit too busy, some really calming, relaxing music would be really helpful for you. You can find lots on YouTube actually. White noise is a really good place to start. There's lots of different calming kind of meditative music states on YouTube that you can try out. Also, classical music can be really good for calming as well, but tap into what works for you. So you might have a favourite band that you're like, I put that on, that chills me out. So you know what works for you. And as I said before, dancing about. Dance to your music and move your body, because when we're in a funk or we're stressed, our body is in a set physiology. It's in a set pattern, if you like. It's set how it's working. And what we need to do is we need to change that to help us change our mindset. So if you find that you are moving your body about, and you can kind of shake it off, you can shake yourself into a new thought by just changing your body. So then mindful pastimes, these are really important. They help take your focus. So you want to do something that takes your full concentration, and that can boost you out of your funk. So it needs to be something that is going to take your full focus, because that's what we want to do. We don't want to be sitting doing something but actually thinking about all the things that are stressing us out. We need something that will take all of our attention, that we can concentrate on. So painting can be really good. Paint by numbers, if you're not someone that is particularly creative, they can just be really calming, really chilled. Colouring, if any of you got children, maybe join in with them for a bit, or just borrow their colouring book. That can be a really mindful thing, and just to get you focused on something else. Try out a new hobby, something you've always wanted to do, something you're really excited about, energized about, that you go, yeah, actually I've got a guitar, I've been kind of putting off trying to learn, but I'll focus on that and I'll try and do that now. Or another brilliant thing is to watch something funny. So if we're watching something that's funny and we're laughing, that takes the stress away. Laughter is amazing medicine, if you like, for relaxing us. It helps create endorphins, it helps us feel relaxed. There's a dopamine hit, which is great. We just feel so much better when we're laughing. So find an episode of your favourite sitcom, find a favourite funny film, and just give yourself that time. So what do you love that you could do? Get thinking, get creative. Exercise. Exercise is amazing. As I've said, moving your body is really, really key. You're changing your physiology, which changes your mindset. Exercise also gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. It's really hard to be anxious and stressed when you're happy. Exercise actually gives you more energy. The more exercise you do, as bizarre as it sounds, the more energy you will have, and also it releases the tension. So if you think your muscles are really tense when you're stressed and anxious because they're all contracting, and in exercise they're fluid, they're moving, okay? If you're lifting weights they might contract, but then they'll release again. So it does release that pent-up tension that you've got. And lastly, if you don't want to do actual exercise but you do want to change things up, think about a dog. The only way I can describe it is dogs have a funny 5 minutes where they might kind of go mad and chase their tail and bark and run about, and then they'll kind of stand up, shake themselves off like they've jumped out of water even though they haven't, and then they'll just go back to trotting normally. So when they're doing that, as I've said before, they're changing their physiology. They're going from one physical state to a different physical state, which totally changes their mindset. So just stand up, imagine you're doing the hokey cokey, shake one arm out, shake the other arm out, shake one leg, shake the other leg, shake your whole body. And it's amazing the way that you can just transfer your energy in that way to more positive energy. So there you go, just like that dog, shake it off. Support, that's really key. I know it can be really hard when you're trying to be strong and you perceive yourself to be a certain way and you want to be all that you can be, to then admit you might need some support and some help, but reach out. It's absolutely key, and it can really change your whole thinking. Just one phone call can just put you into a different mindset. So notice who your social scaffolding are, and the social scaffolding are the people around you that lift you up, that inspire you, that make you feel supported, that make you feel safe, that are there for you, and that also can say something a bit positive to maybe bring you out of yourself. So these are the people that you will go to when you are feeling a bit anxious. You can pick up the phone, you can call them, you can try all this other stuff before as well, but also seeking support and just saying, having a funny day, and know that it will pass, but I just need a bit more support today than I normally would. And just knowing that that person is there can actually then take some of the weight and the pressure off of you to just solve it on your own. Because you know that actually, if you think about it, when you go to snap one matchstick, it snaps really easily. But if you put one matchstick next to another matchstick together, and then you try and snap them, actually you can't. So just that extra support gives you more strength, like the matchsticks, to stay stronger for longer. And lastly, do something for others. Okay, so when we're in a funk, when we're in our own headspace and we're really stressed and kind of trapped in our own thinking, going out of our way to think about other people, to do one thing that's nice, even if it's just, oh, I see that person, I'm going to smile at them. They look like they're having a bad day. Or maybe I could help someone with the washing up. Doing something for other people, thinking about other people, can help us feel better about ourselves. We get a little hit of, oh, that's nice, we're a nice person. But also, it takes our focus away from us and staying in our heads when we're getting stressed. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. This is absolutely key. The key to all is be kind. So well done for today. Take some time, think about it all and try them all out. Some techniques will work better for other people, some will work really well for you. So see which ones work for you and come back to this at any time when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling anxious, when you feel panicky, and just revisit this video. Also, there's loads of tips on other breathing techniques in our other videos, so check that one out too. But have a great day and thank you for today. Bye.